exposing the strength and vulnerability and shattering the silence around men's mental health. We're two guys creating a space where men can talk, support, and uplift one another. In a world that often misunderstands us, we're here to break the stigma. Join the conversation, empower yourself, and let's redefine what it means to be a man. This is the Untamed Truth Podcast. Tune in, speak out, and let's grow together.
We're tired. Long hours, sleepless nights, constant worry. Our love for our family keeps us moving forward, but yeah, we're not okay. That's the problem. We lie to ourselves to save face, to pretend we're strong. That's something I've said to friends and myself so many times inside my head, dude. I don't know. I don't know where to go sometimes from these places that we get in our heads, you know?
I heard that. I felt that.
But it's so hard to even say anything about it sometimes because there's this stigma. There's this need to be the strong, the man of the everything, of the whole, situation and everything we're in.
Struggling to ask for help, right?
Yeah, like
part of it.
If you ask for help, does it make you weak if you ask for help? You know what I'm saying? Those feelings, those thoughts, the things that go inside your head that says, I'm not going to ask anybody for help. I can do this shit myself.
Or does it make me feel incompetent?
Yeah. I mean, I feel incompetent about most stuff, though. So that doesn't really bother me. But yeah, this is something that I know that there are a lot of people in my friend group that struggle with this stuff. Like this part of living life as a man.
Like, I mean, that really hits home to me too. I mean, which I believe it hits home to a lot of people. And for myself, I have a major belief that, that as a man, I should be able to handle it all alone.
Yeah, but here's the problem with doing that. So if I'm left to my own vices, you know what I'm saying? If I leave, if I were to just stop talking to people about the shit that goes on inside of my head, if I were to just completely quit expressing my emotions that most people tend to push down or cover up or just simply ignore, you know what I'm saying? I feel like that's building, like that's putting powder in a keg, and more powder and more powder. And you fill up that keg, and what is there left after you fill up that powder keg?
Yeah.
Like something's gonna set that off.
Something's gonna snap.
Something's gotta snap, something's gotta give. And I've been to those points in my life, and I've been to that spot in my life where I'm like, I'm not gonna make it past this. If I don't let this out and I don't talk to somebody, if I don't get this out somehow, the shit's gonna hit the fan. Like I'm gonna go off. And it's not gonna be good for anybody, especially myself. But like, who do you go to at times like that? Do you go to your friends? Do you go to your family? Like, I don't want to be judged by those people, or I didn't used to be.
I mean, back before, I would have said I don't know, but now where I've been doing the self-help, growing as a person, I go to friends.
Yeah,
I talk to my friends, my really close friends, my best friends, the ones that I call my brother. Those are the people I talk to.
Yeah.
I mean, like, family, I don't talk to them as much about family. I talk to about stuff, but I don't go.
It's not deep.
I don't go deep into stuff with them.
Well, it's because we have history with those people. But this back to what I was saying about, struggling with this. I struggled with this for most of my life. And I've always been a very emotionally charged man. Like, I've always been very, very into my feelings, and I've always been able to express myself when it comes to that. But I know for a fact that I've got friends and people I know that don't express their feelings, like, even at all sometimes. And then I think it's that they're afraid to be viewed as something that they don't want to be viewed as. Like, they put this stigma on being a man themselves, and a lot of society has for years too, but they put all this on them as like, oh, well, men don't cry.
No, I don't.
I don't agree. I don't agree with it.
I follow that though. But I've grown up that way though.
I think all of us did.
So men don't cry, and like I don't cry.
I cry every day. I cry every day about something. I'll be watching a TV show and cry. Like, I get in my feelings if there's a TV show on TV and it's a kid and his dad. There are multiple reasons why it pulls on my heartstrings. First off, I'm a dad. And now I'm like I'm just like I'm all they got now. You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as mom and dad goes. So that part of it, and then losing my dad, knowing that some of this shit I've watched in movies and TV shows, I never got that with my dad. We worked together. Like, we didn't, I mean, I can count on one hand how many times we went fishing together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I didn't have those. My dad was a workaholic. I didn't have those moments with my dad. I did. There were different kinds of moments. Moments that other people would be like, what the hell were you dad with your dad?
Well, me and my dad, and we didn't go fishing, but we did, I worked on his big rig and stuff like that. That was kind of our thing. Well, it was his thing, and I just did it because
he was doing it. Yeah,
that was something he did.
Me and my dad did go hunting with each other. Like, he took me like turkey hunting and deer hunting and stuff like that. And that's something that I haven't done with my kids. But here's the problem: I'm not good at killing animals, dude. Even if I'm gonna eat them, like, I don't want to kill them.
Yeah.
Now that you can call me what you want. I don't give a shit. But like, I don't feel a need, really. Like, it's not a necessity. But if they want to do it, I'll do it with them. But I'm not just out here gung ho to go boil animals, block off. I want to watch the animals here.
But I mean, I don't know. It's a tough one because it's not that I just want to show that I'm strong. It's that inside my head, I want to do things on my own. I want to
figure it out.
I want to figure it out for myself.
Yeah, I want to fix it.
I want to do it.
And fix it. Yeah, I'm a fix-it person. I always have been.
I mean, that's just how I do things. And I'm not one to, you might call it a pride thing. I'm not real sure.
Yeah.
But it's a tough subject. It's kind of hard to explain because I'm not following I don't think I'm following the stigmas, because this is the way that I feel that I need to do it to work it out for myself.
Yeah.
And to work through it for myself.
Yeah, it's going to be different for everybody.
But I've also realized that if I talk to my friends, it helps.
Yeah. So my thing is
rather take a step back and get a little bit of help.
Yeah.
And it's made a world of difference.
So I've had to completely reevaluate my life as far as what I can do and what I can't do. And we've talked about this multiple times about me not being able to see to do things. But I know people that aren't in the situation that I am and haven't had to actually have to rely on somebody. Like, they literally think they can do it all themselves, and they won't take help from anybody. Like, they won't do what they need to do to get some help from somebody else. And even if you offer to help them, they're like, no, man, I got this, I'll figure it out. So those people are the ones that are struggling the hardest, because they're trying to do all of the things that they think they can do. And maybe some people can. I'm not saying you can't. But it's like, how hard is it to pick up something that weighs 300 pounds?
Pretty hard.
Okay. So if there's 4 of us, how hard is it to pick up something that's 300 pounds?
Depends on who we pick.
Well, I'm not saying let's pick me and Jonah, because if me and Jonah and you try to pick it up, you're going to be doing most of the work. I got the upper body strength of a 12-year-old girl. Let's just be honest. If I can't use my legs, I ain't picking it up.
Now, let's say we're all equal in this.
Yeah.
Picking it up, it'd be a lot less of a load.
Super simple. And that's the problem, is allowing the other people in your life to help you pick up those loads. What's the cost? What's the cost to yourself to pretend to be strong through a situation where you really need support?
The cost?
What's the cost?
Oh, man.
What are you doing to yourself? First off, you're not learning what it's like to get help from anybody.
Well, back from when I used to do this all the time, and you put a lot of stress on yourself, you can go through depression. There was a time that I'm pretty sure that I was depressed. I didn't get diagnosed with it. I mean, there was a time that I didn't want to do nothing. I just didn't want to talk to anybody. I'm just down in the dumps, can't get out, can't get happy, it's like I'm not happy, not sad, I'm just blah.
Just living
you see what
alive.
I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I don't and at that time in my life, I sat back and I said, I'll do it myself, and I did not ask for help. Nobody knew any of the stuff that I'd been going through. And I tell you what, man. So during that time, even my relationship crumbled. We had a pretty good relationship, and that crumbled. My job crumbled. So now I don't have a relationship no more. don't have a job no more, about to lose my place, going to be thrown out on the streets, and I'm sitting here, I'll do this myself the whole time. Stuck in my head, I'll do this myself. I'll figure out a way to do it. And you just keep spiraling, man. It's like quicksand. Once you get in, you can't get back out.
Once you start flapping your arms and you're frailing on the inside, but you're trying to keep it together on the outside,
Mm-hmm.
like you're literally just digging yourself a deeper hole. Like and that's been my experience. And like I said, that's not necessarily everybody. I mean, there's probably, I'm sure there's guys out there that have had to go through all this shit by themselves, and they haven't had any help from anybody, and they've got it and they figured it out and they got to the other side. But how nice would it have been to have somebody that was in your corner that helped you through this shit?
But even if you make it out on the other side, you still spiral.
Yeah.
You go through a spiral.
It's
every time.
You walk that
and
path.
like a lot of times you're up countless hours throughout the night because you can't sleep. There was times that I'd go to sleep and I couldn't sleep, and then eventually you get so tired that you actually pass out because you're so tired.
Yep. You just fall asleep, and it's the only thing you can do.
And I don't know, man. It's a tough spot to be in. You know, I mean, when you're little, you're told, man up, don't cry, figure it out.
Throw some dirt in it, move on, figure it out. Like, it's just so many things that I was told as a kid too, and I think a lot of people are from our generation were told the same kind of shit, and it's not helpful.
I don't remember my dad really saying any of that.
No, it was more peers and shit.
Yeah, it was like, you know, friends and stuff, like coming up through school. Like, I mean, that was just, and you know, to man up, it actually means to make an effort to deal with something such as an obligation or a challenge in a way that is considered strong or manly, and in an informal way, be brave or tough enough to deal with a difficult or unpleasant situation. But that's not how it's used. It's used by people in a negative way. Don't be a sissy.
Yeah.
You aren't a real man. And like just putting people down by saying man up.
Yeah. It's not become an empowering statement. It's meant to be. Now it's a derogatory term. Oh, man up. You know, do what you got to do. Like there's nothing helpful about the phrase anymore, because if you say it, then what connotation does it carry? And I think that depends on your relationship too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
With whoever said it. But my thing is I've been so prideful about trying to get help with my eye, like not being able to see. I can't drive anymore, so I literally, if I need to go to the grocery or something, I have to get somebody to take me. I have to say, hey, really need to go to the grocery. You coming around town anytime? Like, you coming around like where I live? I'm in the woods. Can you swing by and scoop me up? You know, and that in itself for me has been, you know, pretty hard to just call people when I'm always the one that's like, hey, I'm going to the grocery. Y'all need anything? Yeah. You know, I can't do that anymore. I have to rely on somebody else.
Yeah, it's hard to rely on somebody, especially to take the, like I said, I guess you call it pride of, and push it down to actually ask for help.
Yeah,
I mean,
you got to lay your pride down and just be vulnerable and be in.
And it's hard to see asking for help as not a weakness.
Absolutely.
Because, you know, like I said, I just want to do things myself. I mean, that's also me. That's just part of me. I mean, I'm not real sure that it's something that was ingrained in me, because my dad didn't say things like that.
I don't understand this. Why is it always like, if you think about, let's go back and we've talked about some of this shit, like when men used to do stuff back when it was a tribal thing, right? Now it's there's no tribes anymore. But when men did things as a tribe, right, to benefit the tribe, how often was it alone? How often did men go out alone? Just a man, not men, but a man alone to go for a hunt to provide for the tribe.
You did it coming of age, depending on which tribe you went to.
Exactly. So it was literally a coming of age thing, right? So a lesson to be learned, to go it alone for let's say a mission.
But see, but the tribal thing, I mean, the tribal thing is a lot different from then to now, because
absolutely
we don't do the tribal thing.
We don't have tribes.
And like, because in the tribe, you have all the support. You have the chief that takes care of the tribe, and then everybody's a unit in the tribe.
We don't have units anymore,
and we don't have that
at all. So, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that has a lot to do with why we have this belief that men should be able to handle all this shit alone. Like, I think that's one of the reasons why men, like, think about it. So even like relationships, and I'm not, thank God, I don't deal with this kind of crap in a relationship, but like having a guys' night out, like having a guys' night where you go and throw axes, or you go build a bonfire and you sit around and you just talk, and like even for me, it's like grab a guitar, play some music, y'all sit around a campfire and smoke a cigar and drink a couple shots of bourbon or whatever you do with your buddies. Like, I know so many people in relationships that can't do that because their female partner or male, whatever. I don't really hang out with a lot of guys with guys relationships.
I don't understand that one.
I don't understand why us men being around men always constitutes to men being around men. Oh, they're going to get in some trouble, and that's something that I've always like. When I'd go out with my friends when I was a teenager, and it was mostly a bunch of teenage guys or early adults. Don't y'all get in trouble.
That's because we go out and do stupid stuff.
Well, we do stupid stuff, but like as we get older, I would like to think that we don't do it. We do stupid stuff still. Don't get it twisted, but we don't do irresponsible stuff that's going to get us in trouble with the law. Or
I don't know about that.
I don't. I don't anymore. Like I ain't gonna lie and say I don't act stupid in the Walmart store occasionally and drop a yogurt and explode all over the place or something like that. But like, or just be yelling and talking about stuff.
I mean, sometimes we get. I mean, it depends on what we're doing, but I mean,
but still, that's something that
it can get out of hand.
Relationships take away.
But at that point, I'm like, let a man be a man.
Yeah. So, like, but that's something that relationships take away, though, if you think about it. Like, I'm not saying all of them, but a lot of times you hear this. Like, I don't have any time with my friends. You want me to always be around, and, like, I can't go hang out with certain people, and blah, blah, blah. Like,
I say that a lot. Look, I'm single, but I say that a lot with a lot of my friends that are married and have relationships, because guess what? I mean, it's hard. Dude, it is so hard to get people out that are in relationships or married, and it like sometimes I feel like I'm pulling teeth, and sometimes I'm just like, oh my gosh, I just like sometimes I don't even want to ask because
you know what the answer is.
But then I have to come back and I go, I'm going to ask because eventually I'm going to get him out of the house and we're going to go do something. But I mean, like I said, I feel like I'm pulling teeth, and on that front. But I mean, it's really annoying in my perspective.
Yeah, because you're coming from the single side of things.
But even if I have a girlfriend or anything else like that, now used to, I would do the same thing. But anymore, I don't. I dive into the relationship, but I don't dive in so much that I'm going to lose everything else.
Yeah. Because
everything else is who I am.
Yeah.
So
and if you lose yourself to gain a partner, it's not beneficial for you.
And if she can accept everything else, then I don't want that. I don't want her.
Absolutely. And that it should be the same way for her. If in a relationship there's give and take. And if there's all give from one side and no take, and all take from one side and no give, then it's not going to work out.
But like I said, I'm also a person that if I want to go do something, I'm going to go do something.
Yeah. Well, we've learned that about you too. So not asking for help gets us into situations where we have no one but ourselves in our own mind to figure things out. We don't have a group. We don't have a mentor. We don't have a therapist or somebody to talk to. So it ends up stressing us out. Like you said, sleepless nights, hypertension, high blood pressure, depression, drug and alcohol addiction, which is a very common thing with men who are stressed out, overstimulated at their job, not happy in their job, which I don't know a whole lot of people that are happy in their job. There's a lot of people that just don't like what they do. They just do it because they have to provide. Right. Like, you have to pay the bills.
So, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good.
But think about this, man. So, like I talked about this before. Look, if we look at successful people, they delegate, right? And then if you think about this, so they delegate tasks and everything, to help
strengthen the business. Yeah.
Yeah, but it relieves stress off them. It takes burden off of them, right?
Because if you're trying to run everything by yourself in a business, you're not going to succeed. You have to have good people under you.
So if you take that aspect of it and you put it into the scenario, like of where I was losing everything, and if I had done that, you know, I you could think about it, and I'd be like, man, maybe if I had done that, delegated the stuff out, took in my friends, and actually asked for help, got help, I could have probably turned that all around.
Absolutely, you could have,
and not spiraled so far down that
you didn't think you were going to get out.
Yeah,
you just kept going down, and that's the problem when you get to the bottom of a pit and there's nobody willing to jump in it with you and help you build a ladder.
And I also think that goes back to the tribal thing you were talking about.
That's what I was trying to connect it, but I'm kind of dumb with that shit.
Because that's how they do, because it's delegated out. Like, so you got hunters, gatherers, you know, this person, this group does this personal, you know, this group's over here.
You got the cook, the guy that's skinning the animals, cooking it. Yeah, absolutely. Then you got somebody that's taking the skin and tanning it and making leather to make clothes, so whoever can make clothes, they can make weapons.
Yeah, everything's delegated out, and you're all helping as a community, but we don't build the communities.
No, there's no community because it's all built on false pretenses and bullshit. Like, there's no community. Like, look, online is not a community, dude. I'm sorry. There's a lot of good stuff that happens with the internet, but you cannot build a community on the internet. Like, not a real one. You can't, because there has to be...
I think you can.
No, you can't.
Yes.
Listen, I know what you're saying. I'm not talking about a mental community where it helps you with other things. But let's say you're trying to build a compound, and it's everybody on the internet's giving you ideas. You're still the only one doing the work. So, yeah, you might have the less stress on here, but I'm talking about an actual community that gets out and does stuff together. You can't just do that on the internet. That community has to be... It can start on the internet, but to make a difference with stuff, it has to be boots on the ground. You have to eventually meet in person and do things.
No, you can do the same thing online with an online community.
No, but you can't plant a garden together on the internet. You can plant a virtual garden, I guess, but in real life you can't.
But we're not talking about doing a garden. We're talking about working through your problems, and you don't always need boots on the ground. You can use an online community.
What I'm getting at, and what you're not picking up what I'm putting.
I'm not picking up
what I'm putting out.
Because
like, yes, this is where it starts. You can get all the help you need off of the internet. But you have to put that into play in your life. You can't just read about it. You have to put boots on. You have to put in the work in real life, not on the internet, to make it work.
Yes, but you have your community to back you up.
Absolutely, but that's what I'm saying. You have to. You can read all day long about something, but until you start doing it, you're not going to change anything. That's what I was getting at.
Yeah.
Now do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but the way you were saying it, it was.
Well, it's because I'm trying to make it. I'm stupid. You know this.
Like you were trying to separate them, and to me, it's not a separate thing, because an online community can really help you in ways that sometimes people in real life can't.
You can't build a Lego set looking at the instructions on the internet. You have to get the Lego set in your hand and build that shit, right?
Well, you have to do the work yourself.
Absolutely.
Or it don't work.
That's what I was corresponding to two things.
I get that, but But saying that an online community isn't.
No, it's a crucial part. But what I'm saying is, what I meant by what I was trying to say, and you weren't getting it, is that you have to do the work. It has to actually come into play. It has to work outside of just reading shit on the internet.
Yeah,
and talking to people on the internet. That's what I meant. That's all I was saying. Okay, so as long as you get what I'm saying. I'm trying to make it make sense to me for everybody else, but sometimes my shit's all weird because I'm dumb.
Well, what I'm trying to explain to you was the way that you said it. It sounded like you were saying the online community wasn't a community.
No, it's a community, 100%.
And
I probably said that though, didn't I? See,
yes, you did.
That goes that blurter shit.
So that's what I was trying to stop and get you to realize that you said this isn't a community, and you have to have boots on the ground. And that's why I was saying no.
So now it makes sense to me, because it didn't make sense to me. I was just trying to blurt it out and get my thoughts in my head out on paper.
So I was trying to get you to understand what you said.
Yeah.
Came out different than what you were meaning.
Yeah, 100%. But see, that's how it be for me. Like,
Yeah.
that's what I do sometimes. You know, the stress, the burnout, you know, and my big thing is like when I get this way, like my relationship with other people really gets strained because I just push everybody away, and I don't even want to talk about it. I don't want to get, so like I have a friend, I'm not going to give name, I'm not going to say names, but like during all of this time, like with my eyes and everything, my boy, and like I love this dude to death. Like he texted me one day, and he was like, "Hey man, if you need me to stop and pick something up for you, I go right by your house. Don't hesitate to text me and say, hey." He said, "I don't give a shit if you just want a white Monster because you want a white Monster for the day." He said, if you need anything, I come right by your house every day. It's not a big deal. Say, "Hey, can you pick this up for me?" I'll pick it up for you. You can give me the money, and or not if you don't have it, and whatever. He's like, just text me and let me know. He's like, I was like, dude, but I feel like I'm a burden no matter what that's going on in my life with this. If I have to have somebody come and do everything for me, he goes, dude, it'd be different if you were being a lazy piece of shit and just sitting in your house and didn't want to get out. He said, but you're blind. You can't drive, dude. What do you expect? He was like, what kind of friend would I be if I didn't say, hey, hit me up if you need something? But that doesn't make it any easier for me, really. It still makes it hard for me to, you know.
Because you want to do it yourself.
I want to do it myself. I've done it myself since I was 13.
You can't do it yourself. But but at the same time, you got to realize you can't do it anymore.
It's very humbling, and it's been a great learning experience for me, and been a great way for me to learn. And I'm not doing that great at it until very recently.
And then like since we started this, we've been doing a lot of this, right?
Yeah, a whole lot,
and working with it.
Mm-hmm. Mental health, and it's helped us both, I think.
So like what? So what I'm wanting to know is kind of tell us about it.
Tell us about what?
Like growing, like how it's been helping.
So, dude, like,
so tell us more about that.
It's very humbling. It's very humbling to say. So thank God I have great friends and great family, like, and a great fiance and great kids. Like Jonah. Oh man. So I can't read sometimes.
Yeah.
Because I can't see it. And like I'll have to get Jonah to come and read like Bill's stuff to me, or like certain stuff. And like, dude, he's 12. He shouldn't be having to deal with this kind of stuff. But you know, it really makes you appreciate the people you have in your life, because like I've been the guy since I've forever that always tries to make everybody else's life better, and like now I can't even make my own life better. Right? So like now I'm relying on some of the people that I've always been friends with, and like have been tried to be there for them, and all the things that I've tried to do for all these other people are showing up for me now. And like, I don't know, it's been super eye-opening to realize that all those times that I was trying to make it to where I could be there for people that needed me, like like it's not for nothing. Like they show up, and it's like no matter how many times I'm not communicating with them, or like won't text anybody, or just stay to myself and just sit here and not reach out. Like some of those people reach out to me and they're like, hey dude, you good? You need anything? How you feeling? Like it's awesome, man. It's awesome to be humbled so much that you have to ask for help because you don't have any other options. I just don't. I can't drive. If I drive and I wreck and I kill somebody, dude, I couldn't live with that. I just couldn't. I couldn't live with myself. Or if one of my kids are in the car and they get hurt, like I couldn't live with that.
So since we've been doing this, how does it make you feel now?
It makes me feel like I have to do something to make other people realize that I've been through hell in the last 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
I've been through some of the worst shit that nobody should ever have to go through. I've been through loads of things, and coming out the other end as strong as I've always thought I was, I never thought I was this strong. And it's because I reached out to people, or people reached out to me, because there were times where I wouldn't reach out to people. I was in my own head and I didn't want to talk to anybody about anything.
Right.
You know? And then what I've tried to instill in my kids, and the love and the support they've shown me through this, and let me don't get it twisted. My kids are still kids.
Right.
And they've had to grow up a lot with losing their mom and a lot with me going blind and not being able to. I've been trying to get Jonah's guitars to the Guitar Center to sell them for him for 6 months, 4 months probably. I don't know. A while.
Yeah.
Because he plays saxophone now. He's not interested. But I can't just up and go and take him to the Guitar Center because I don't have anything. So they're dealing with that too. And that's another stress on me that I can't provide what they want. Like, I'm providing what they need.
Right.
But, like, taking him to his friend's house to stay all night. I have to rely on his friend's parents to come and pick him up and bring him home. I can't, you know. But it's been eye-opening.
But it sounds like you've done a lot of self-growth here lately. Just us doing this, I've seen a lot of growth.
Yeah, I mean, I've had to grow because I won't let depression and stress and all of those things that I've dealt with in my past for most of my life, I won't let that control my emotions, and I won't let that control who I really am.
Yeah.
And it's took a lot of, you know, dunking my head underwater, proverbially speaking, but I've had to grow because I had no other choice. But I feel like there's so many other choices out there for other people that I would love for them to not have to go through what I went through to get to the other side, because there's an easier way.
Yeah.
There's so much easier ways than dragging yourself through the pits to get to where I've gotten to. And thankfully I've opened up to my friends, and my friends, I talk to everybody about stuff, but they know all of this shit that I've went through. They understand. They've been here right through all of it, you know?
Yeah.
And
so
they don't understand what they've been to me.
So since you've been doing this, because there for a while, you self-isolated a little bit.
About 3 years worth?
Yeah, there for a little bit. So now you're more of a self-reliance. You're headed more toward a self-reliance kind of thing.
What does that mean? Make that make sense for a dumb person like me?
Because so if you're isolating, you're separating yourself from everybody else.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so if you're doing like a self-reliance, you're relying on yourself, but you're not isolating yourself from everybody.
Yeah. Well, I had, in the middle of this isolation, in the middle of me not talking to anybody really, I had two people. That have always been, and one of them since I was like, I don't know, 14. Like, there was a thing that they wanted to go do, and they wanted me to be a part of it, and it was in Virginia, right? It was a paint clinic to learn how to do custom painting, like custom airbrushing and pinstriping and all this stuff. So in the middle of all of that, like, they showed up and were like, "Hey, we're going to Virginia Beach," and like, I needed that at that time because I was going through so much stuff in my head. Like, I needed to get away from here. I needed to get out and go do something with just my friends.
Yep.
And I did, and like, there were times where I did stuff I wasn't supposed to do. I was drinking pretty heavy and doing some other stuff I shouldn't have been doing. And I realized, like, in that middle of that mess, that, like, all I'm doing is covering this up for it to be not only worse tomorrow, but the same tomorrow. And now I got a hangover.
Yeah.
So, like, none of that worked until I dealt with it.
Yeah, I've been there, man. Yeah, I've been there. I used to party a lot, and that was a cover up.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's just a way to cover up what's really going on for the moment, and then it just makes it worse later.
Yeah, because it felt good in the moment, though. Get your mind off everything, but
yeah, it did.
But you never deal with in the actual problems.
No, you never you internalize everything still, and then it just makes it worse. And like, for me now, if I drink, like, I don't drink anymore at all, really. Like, I'll have a mixed drink or something. But, like, if I drink heavily, I'm crying as soon as I'm at the end, because I know that I did this for no reason. I'm drunk now, and even if I'm in a great mood, and like now, even with everything that's going on, I'm pretty good. I've got my stuff figured out on the inside, but at the same time, I know that that's going to bring up memories from the past, and why do it? Why do it to myself? It's stupid.
Yeah, I don't drink much anymore. I don't know. Once I hit a certain age, I was just done with drinking. I'll drink socially. Like, if I have a get together, whatever, I'll drink.
Couple beers
Just
or
a little
something.
bit.
Yeah.
Well, I don't drink beers. I might have like wine coolers or something. I don't like taste of beer.
Oh, dude, I love some good tasting mixed drinks, like the girly drinks.
Mixed drink, I'll do the
yeah.
mixed drinks, and I try not to drink it, but I love liquor.
Okay, have you ever had a pixie stick martini?
No, I've heard of it, but
Bro.
I've never had that.
Bro, it looks like every chick's childhood room, pink and purple and pretty and prissly. It's fire.
I've had that Windex.
What?
They call it Windex because it looks like it's like a test tube.
That's gross. I'm out.
And it looks like Windex in the test tube,
Yeah.
and they call it Windex.
That's gross.
It's actually pretty good.
Yeah, I'm not. That would turn me off. Just the name of it's like, ugh.
That's I don't know if you remember when, but the test tubes were the thing. Like,
Oh, yeah.
like you could go to
Every bar in town had the girl
everything had
walking around with the test
the
tubes.
test- yeah.
They're like $10 a shot. I'm like, dude, that's
Yeah.
expensive.
But we made some test tubes and
Yeah. We
with
used
the
to be able
with
to
the
buy
drink
like the
mixes.
little things that were already pre-mixed. You could just drink them at home. Like the
I
little
I
test
remember
tubes,
those. Yeah,
have a little pill off top.
Pill off top.
Yeah.
Oh, those were some crazy
Yeah,
times.
kind of broke down a little bit, but like my kids are my kids are awesome. Like they're the reason why I pushed as hard as I have to figure this stuff out, because I really want them to not have to deal with the things like I had to deal with. you
Yeah.
know? I really want them to learn from my mistakes. That's why I don't lie to my kids about anything. If they ask me something, I tell them the truth, and they may not like it, but I don't feel it's right for me to lie to them about anything, because I don't want to be lied to about anything.
Yeah, but you don't tell them. Do you tell them everything?
Everything. Anything they ask about, I'm not just telling them everything. But if they ask me a question about something, I'm telling them the truth. But there's something that comes with laying down your pride and accepting, support from people and help
Yeah.
from your friends. Like it's weakness is not what it is. Asking for help is not weak, it's wisdom.
I can get by that.
Because the weakness that being weak for me was whenever I was in those darkest places, and the only thing I really had was me and my music to like lean on. And sometimes music doesn't help me get anything out. I have to write about it. But having somebody to bounce things off of and talk to about, it doesn't matter who it was then, because there's been so many people, but that came with growth, because I know as a teenager I didn't do that. Nobody knew what I was going through on the inside. Nobody, because I didn't tell anybody.
Yeah. When I was a teenager, I don't remember a lot of stuff I went through besides the relationship ordeals. Now they kind of got like a little. It kind of got like a little crazy,
A
but
little squirrely, yeah. I had a few of those too.
But I mean that. But I also think that's just part of high school. The relationship
Yeah,
thing.
you're
You know
young.
what I mean,
All your hormones and
You're
stuff are
young,
going crazy.
dumb.
Yep.
you're in and out of a relationship. You keep going in and out.
Yep.
Yeah, but I just think that's normal. But in the after that, like when I was in college, like I don't know, man. Like I had a pretty good relationship, but it's pretty bad when your mom looks at you and asks you if you actually really like her.
I had a couple of those, dude. And my mom called me out because I was a mean person back when I was young. I was mean. I was my mom called me a male chauvinist, and I don't even know what that is, if I'm being honest. I was like, what do you mean a male chauvinist? He's like, you think that a woman's place is in the kitchen. I was like, no.
But don't get me wrong, like I really liked her. But also, going through the high school thing, you start to distance yourself in some relationships, and that's because you learn pretty quick, if you get too attached too quick, it can go sideways.
Yeah, too much of a good thing is not a good thing. So why do you think we tell ourselves like we'll figure it out?
Why?
Like, why do you think it is that we like there's this illusion of control that we have? We have some kind of like off-kiltered aspect of what we think control actually is, and that we can handle all of this stuff by ourselves. Like, why do you think that is? Like, what? Even like something as simple as admitting that we are struggling. Why is it so hard for us to do that? Why does that? I still, going through all the shit I've went through, I still don't understand why.
I mean, I think you just said it.
What?
I mean, you just said it. The illusion of control.
Yeah, but why do we have that illusion of control? Like, why did I think I could get through it on my own, knowing
Because you're sitting there thinking that, hey, I can do this on my own. I can control this.
I don't want to burden someone else.
But in reality, you can't control what's going on right now.
Yeah, you can't control something you can't control. And I think that's one thing that
that's one thing that I've been working on is like, there's things I can control, and I've realized that there's things that I can't control.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
I don't let the things that I can't control
stress you out,
bother me.
Yeah, and that's what I've had to learn.
Because I can't control it.
Nope.
I'm not going to let it bother me.
It still bothers you, but you're not going to let it take control.
But I'm not going to sit here and dwell on it because I can't control it.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And
I worry about what I can control.
Yep.
And then what I can control to make the outcomes around me.
I can control my foot and not kick your mic.
I had to chase after my mic just then.
My bad.
But to control what I can around me to get the outcomes that I want.
Yeah. Because let's just be honest, there's so many things that we can't control. But if we can't control them, why do we stress about it? Why worry about it? Why let that bother you? And I did that for so long, and I wish there was an answer.
Because at the time, you think you can control it.
Yeah, I think you're 100% right. Because I thought I could control it.
Because in your world, until you separate the two and realize that there are things that you can't control, you think you can control everything.
Yeah,
and then you worry about everything. And until you separate it and get it in your head that, hey, I can't control this, I'm not going to just keep dwelling on it because I can't control it, then you're just going to be in the same spot. And that's my opinion.
Well, I don't think it's opinion, man. I think, and it may not be for everybody.
That's from my experience.
Yeah,
this is how I've dealt with it.
But it's the same experience that I'm having. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't control that. I could have, and this is another thing for me. This is what's been so much harder for me. I could have controlled taking my medicine and doing what I knew would be good for my diabetes. But I would rather have controlled making sure my kids were fed and making sure my kids had clothes and making sure everybody around me in my family was taken care of.
But at the same time, you weren't in the mindset of taking care of yourself.
No, I didn't care about myself because I wanted to make sure everybody else was taken care of. And I didn't feel like... I feel like I was in control of taking care of myself, but I never took control of myself.
Yeah, like a lot of us don't. Like, a lot of people don't understand men are very caring. We show it in different ways.
Yeah, and that's hard too.
And because our minds work different, we're very logical, and we show our feelings in a totally different light. We don't get emotional about things.
Speak for yourself, sweetheart.
Well, you do get emotional.
I do. I get emotional about lots of stuff.
But a lot of us, we don't get really emotional. Like, I don't get really emotional a lot. Like, every now and then you'll see a bit of emotion come out. But for the most part, I'm not really, really emotional, I don't think.
Well, you're in your logical mind. I'm in my emotional mind. And I have to learn to separate the two. And that's been a struggle that I've dealt with for a couple years now, too. It's getting out of my emotional mind and getting into my logical mind.
But, I mean, we show... how we care in a different way.
Absolutely. Trying to take care of things, trying to do things, trying to make sure that everybody has everything.
And a lot of times we will make ourselves suffer
to make everybody else happy.
In order for the people around us to have what they want and to be happy.
Absolutely.
And when we do that, again, we go into the spiral.
Yep. But there is a balance. You can.
There is a balance.
There's a balance, and that's the hardest part is learning the balance.
But at the core of it, you have to take care of yourself. You have to do the work for yourself on yourself.
So here's the thing: what do they tell you when you're on a plane?
Put the mask on first.
Put the mask on first. Why? Because if you pass out, you can't help anybody else.
Yeah, you put the mask on first, and then you help somebody.
It's the same thing with everything. Like, that is such a simple concept. But it carries so much weight in the fact that if you don't help yourself, and that's what I'm having to learn through this blindness crap, right?
Yep.
Is that if I should have helped myself so that I could help everybody else around me. Now, since I didn't do what I know I should have done back in the day, now I'm having to suck it up and realize that I need help and lay down my pride and say, hey, I need somebody to come take me to Kroger because Daddy's got a script waiting at Kroger. You know, I need my medicine. And thankfully I've built up enough relationships and friendships that they're like, hey, how about I just come and get you? We'll go get dinner too. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that works. That's cool.
Yeah.
So they come all the way to here, and then we go out, and then we come back. Like it's been very humbling. And I mean,
yeah, you worry about the trips.
Yeah, I finally accepted.
I mean, no, like you really worry about the trips, which half the time I just want the trips.
What about the trips?
Yeah, you worry about them.
Yeah, I don't like people having to come and take care of me.
I mean, you worry about it a lot because you say the same thing about me coming over here to do the podcast.
Yeah, because I know that it's not free to travel from there to here, and I know how much it sucks for.
And it's like this. What I would like you to understand is, if I minded, I wouldn't do it.
You're right, and that's another thing.
And I know you sit there and like, because you say it a lot, so I know it's on your mind a lot.
It is. That's definitely something on my mind a lot.
And I keep trying to knock it into your head. If I cared, I wouldn't be doing it.
I get it. But I don't know that a lot of people, like, I feel like, and this is probably just me projecting my own crap, but like I don't know that everybody feels the way that you do about it. But I know that a lot of the guys in my situation, a lot of the guys in my circle, they feel the same way. Well, if I cared about coming and getting you or picking up your script, I wouldn't offer to do it in the first place.
Right. We yeah. And that's I think that's a guy thing. Like if we cared to do it, we wouldn't offer.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when we offer, we really don't care.
Yeah.
But it's up to us as an individual to accept it. And that is a hard thing to do.
So we have a couple messages for guys who feel like they can't ask for help.
So we're gonna wrap it up here.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up. We're about 48 minutes in. Yeah, about 48 minutes in. So we're gonna wrap her up. If you're tired, overworked, and constantly worried, it's a sign that you need to start reaching out to people. You need to let someone help you carry your load. You don't have to do it alone. Reaching out to other people doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make you not a man. It doesn't make you any less of a man at all. What it does is it helps you get into a position where you can start doing more on your own for yourself. But if you don't reach out, you're not gonna get what you really need to move past the shit that's in your head, right?
Yeah, I agree with that.
And take baby steps. I'm not saying you got to wake up, you're not, because nobody does. You're gonna wake up tomorrow and you're just gonna pour your heart out, and every stress you've ever had, you're gonna pour it out to your best friend. No, you're not gonna do that. Take baby steps. Be like, hey man, like I got to get out of this house right now. Can we just go do something? Can we go throw some axes at a board and drink a beer? Like that's where it starts. Baby steps. One conversation and one moment of you just being honest. You just opening up and being like, look, man, I'm struggling right now. And I feel like, I don't know if everybody does, but most people have a friend that they can open up to and talk like that.
And if you don't, there are communities out there.
Absolutely. Message one of us. I may not be your friend right now.
Or 988.
Or 988, 100%. If you don't want to, because I don't, you don't have to message me, but just get some help from somewhere.
So, a quote that I want to leave y'all with. The strongest thing a man can do isn't suffering in silence. It's admitting when he needs help. Strength isn't pretending you're okay. It's having the courage to say, I need support.
100%. And it's hard. It's one of the hardest things I've ever had to do in my entire life. Because it makes you feel weak at first. But there's so much strength in opening up. And there's so much, for me, it's like people are like, crying makes me feel so weak. Dude, I don't care what anybody says. After I have a good cry, I feel amazing.
So, I want to leave it at that.
Yep.
So, like, share, subscribe. Talk to us down below in the comments.
We're on all the socials. If you want to reach out to us, we got emails and all the messengers. So,
thanks for tuning in.